6 o'clock. I thank everybody for coming in today. We met in closed session on 4 items. We had discussion but no action on items 1 and 2, which was conference with labor negotiator regarding our union negotiations. Number 3 was an update with conference regarding existing litigation. And then we had discussion with no action on number 4, which was our public about employee evaluation on our superintendent. So with that, I am going to move into the Pledge of Allegiance, which is being led by our Lakeside Middle School. Welcome.
Everybody please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. All right, so we will have Mike Dawson share highlights from LUS.
Welcome. Excuse me. Why does it sound so weird? Okay. Thank you, board, for letting LMS talk very briefly about all the great things that we're doing. I would be remiss if I didn't start with letting some of our kids talk a little bit about their experience at Lakeside Middle School this year. So we have Abby, Addie, and Mia who are going to share a little bit about some of the highlights that they've experienced this year as Broncos. So, girls, come on up.
So our school has a variety of programs, and I am so lucky to be a part of so many of them. From Project Lead the Way Science to our very own show choir, which I could not be more happy to be a part of, and our drama and dance team. It's all awesome, and I love it there so much. There are so many opportunities for anybody with anything that they want to do in their future, just for fun or just to carry on a tradition in their family. There's Spanish, there's so many awesome opportunities for everybody, and I absolutely love everything that our school has to offer.
Hi, my name is Addison Booker and I'm the 7th grade, and I'm here to talk about our awesome dance program that we have. So I've been in the dance program for 2 years now, and it's just been a great opportunity, and there's so many opportunities for us to go to dance competitions, and we always get really cool banners and trophies just like this, and it's just been a really awesome experience, and I think that we should continue on this program.
Yes, I absolutely too many banners. Love our dance program. We have levels between beginning, intermediate, and advanced, and our advanced dance is what Packer School does. And it's just it's a physical education too, and it's also, it's so fun, and we love our dance.
People often ask me, what my experience is as a new principal at Lakeside Middle School and how it's going, and it's very easy to answer. I love our kids. We have fantastic kids at Lakeside Middle School. Our teachers are top of the line, top notch, and there are times where I show up on a Monday morning and I have 17 trophies that look just like this in the main office because of the excellence of the programs that we offer. And on display here, you can hear some of the work that these kids are putting in to their vocals. And again, the excellence of the teachers that we have is imbued upon these kids. And this is just the show choir. This is our aptitude kids with their singing. Excuse me. But the dance team and all the things that go along with just some of the VAPA programs that we have is just phenomenal. But thank you, ladies, for coming. Thank you for singing. If you want to take a seat, by all means, or are they going to stand the whole time? No, their parents were like, yep, no, we got to go, we got dance practice. So please go. Thank you very much. One more round of applause for you. So again, I'm Mike Dotson. I'm the principal, the proud principal at Lakeside Middle School. I'm going to spotlight our school, if this thing will let me. Maybe this won't. So here's a little bit of what we're going to kind of talk about, where we started, who we are, by the numbers, the things we do, what we need, and where we're headed. This is not going to be more than 30 minutes. I'm teasing. So here's where we started. Andrew's like, let's cut it out. So I kind of came in with a 3-year plan. And year one was really asking a lot of questions, seeing how the systems work, what systems were in place, getting familiar with the students, getting familiar with the facilities, and really learning all I could about what was going on at the school. Year two is action to impact. So all of those learnings that I absorbed year one kind of turn into actions, whether it's systems being put in place, whether it's action steps regarding academics or behaviors or things like that. Year three, impact to engagement. So how do we create sustaining systems that are long-lasting and create improvement for kids? Inquiry to action was a little bit of inquiry and a lot more action than what I intended. Right off the bat, we created a cell phone policy. So in previous years, kids could walk around with cell phones, they could use them in class, they could use them during passing periods. And to start, I had heard from teachers that this was a problem, and so this was one of the first things that we did was we created a policy that from bell to bell, kids are not allowed to have their cell phones on campus. And so we actually police that by anytime we see cell phones, we take cell phones. And it's been very effective. So some of the things that teachers have communicated and the community has communicated to me is that they are very appreciative of what that has looked like in their classroom, what that has looked like and meant for kids and their behavior in terms of what the Defiance piece looked like with cell phones last year. Tardy sweeps. So there was a lot of kids wandering the halls last year. And so one of the things that we brought this year were tardy sweeps. So just a couple of things that right off the bat were things that we just launched right into. And so it wasn't a whole lot of wait and see. It was let's go ahead and do. So who are we and who we are? So we are building a new culture on strong traditions. So again, another thing that kind of changed with the introduction of Mr. Dotson was Lakeside Middle School is a school where everyone belongs. And I say this very often when I'm getting up in front of kids or whether I'm talking to parents. I want that message to be clear. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you believe in, who you are, what grade you're in, any of those dynamics, everyone has a seat at the table at Lakeside Middle School. And so it is constantly shared, and so we are constantly trying to encourage kids. You know, when it comes to situations and whether we're repairing harm or building up these relationships between kids, we are establishing a culture where everyone belongs. And so on the left there, the Bronco framework is a new framework that we are introducing this year. This is a part of our PBIS plan. So you know, when it comes to discipline, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later, building culture, PBIS is one of those implementations that have positive effects on kids, and it has positive effects on the staff. And so believe in yourself, respond appropriately, own your choices, navigate challenges, and care for our campus. Outperform yesterday are the frameworks in which we are going to encourage all kids to live, believe, breathe at Lakeside Middle School. So who we are continued. This is just one of those kind of word salad deals where it has all of the different things that we do over the course of a year. So Egypt Day was something that was new for me. I'd never seen that anywhere. Our 6th grade core teachers put on a phenomenal experience for kids, and so our 6th grade kids went from kind of program to program to program and saw all kinds of different activities that all involved Egypt, which aligned with their curricular studies at the time. We had flag football, we have cross country, we have drama, dance, band, FFA, all the things that, you know, people know us for, but there's so many things that we are doing that it's really hard to be up here and spotlight just a few, because there's just so much, and it's all really, really good. So changing gears a little bit by the numbers. So this is a very transparent presentation as to what we look like right now. On the top is our fall MAP scores. MAP stands for Measure of Academic Progress. This is a test that kids take 3 times a year. And while that's a little small, the numbers on the left in the yellow represent kind of where we stand in terms of all of the kids everywhere that take these tests. So our 6th grade was 44% out of 100%. 7th grade, 52. 8th grade, 59. That was in the fall. 6th grade, when we look at the winter, so this is what we recently took in December. So we went from 44% to 42%. We went from 52nd to 53rd for our 7th graders, and we went from 59th to 55th. I'm going to talk at some point during this presentation a little bit about why this is happening, but ultimately, as I'm kind of talking to my teachers and talking about, well, what went on? We are moving from CPM as a curriculum that we've adopted to Desmos. Desmos is primarily a web-based program, so a lot of very innovative, behind a computer screen type of math work that kids are doing. And frankly, one of the things that is happening with this very innovative program is kids are using AI to solve math problems. So we, in trying to be 21st century and taking that approach, we kind of given kids a little bit too much technology in which to try and solve the problems. And that leads to kids not having the requisite skills to actually complete these assignments. So this is a good learning for us, because it's, you know, next year we're kind of pausing a little bit on the web-based kind of moving forward curriculum and using more paper pencil. And so getting back to those ground roots for our kiddos. But ultimately, you know, we have some great things in store, and one of the things that we actually started this year was very, very rich interventions in math and in English. So in addition to the Encore reading program that our 6th graders get, we have an ELA intervention that takes place twice a week for 7th and 8th graders. We have a math intervention that takes place twice a week for all students, and it's been fairly well attended. It's been promoted through our Bronco Bulletin, and we have had kids come and they need the support. And so really, as a part of our learning process, one of the questions that we should be answering is what happens when kids don't learn the material. And so one of the systems that we created were these interventions for students to be successful, whether they get it the first time, the second time, or the third time. But this right here is a demonstration of us looking at a system that we have in place in regards to our curriculum and areas that we need to kind of address and adjust. This is our ELA fall maps and winter maps. Now, a little bit different story here. So 6th grade was 59% in the fall, 56% for 7th grade in the fall, 60th% in the fall. And for 6th grade, we improved by 3 points, so we went from 57 to 60. Seventh grade went from 56 to 60, so improvement of 4 points, and then 8th grade stayed the same. And so, again, on one hand, you're like, okay, for math, it's the AI and blah, 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 but on the other hand, for English, look at the growth. And so that's not the baby out with the bathwater. There are a lot of fantastic things that our teachers are doing, and they are working collaboratively to try and create tight systems of education and academics for our kids. It just so happens that in our English, we are showing the results of all the hard work that the teachers are doing, and the systems that we have in terms of curriculum and stuff are not kind of biting down on those results. So this is a plus for us in terms of the ELA. This is attendance. So average daily attendance from August 18th to today, 6th graders are 94.73%, 7th graders are 94.71%, 8th graders are 95.06%, for a total of 94.84%. Our goal is 97%. That's a district-wide attendance goal. And so we're not meeting that goal, but this is nothing to be ashamed of. This is a very, very good number in terms of where we were post-COVID. And so we are continuing to grow these numbers and create attendance campaigns and some systems where we are incentivizing kids to come to school, whether it's because of the programming that we're offering or some of those positive behavioral supports that really get kids to want to come to school. So again, this is just another very transparent, this is where we're at, but we have a lot of things in place to help promote where we're going. So again, things we do. So we listed it in the word salad. Here it is again, kind of to see, but I want to kind of just, data is one of those things that shows us how we connect with kids on an academic level. What's working, what's not working, what do we need to improve? But really when it comes to where we're really connecting with kids, it's what's going on the day-to-day in the classroom. It's the enrichment programs that we have. It's the electives that we offer, where kids get a chance to really shine because of their connections to school. And at the end of the day, kids, well, most kids don't come to school for math class. Kids come to school for the dance. Kids come to school for guitar club. Kids come to school for some of these really, really innovative, exciting things that we're doing. And we have a little video to kind of showcase that element.
Every student here at Lakeside Middle School is looking for something that sparks our interest, a place to belong, a connection. At LMS, students find that connection in many different ways.
In Projects Lead the Way, we design things and build things. We're solving problems and working with our team.
We get to see our ideas turn into something real. And when everyone is working together to figure out something, we really feel that connection.
In agriculture, we learn how to care for animals and grow things. The animals depend on us every day. It teaches responsibility and patience, and we feel connected to the work, the animals, and the people working right beside us.
Sports leadership is about bringing our school together.
We organize activities and support our teams. We help create a positive place for everyone.
It's really about helping students to feel connected to our school.
Drama helps us find confidence. Getting on stage can feel scary at first,
But once we try it, we realize we can do things we didn't think were possible.
and when we perform together, we feel a real connection with the people around us.
When we find something we care about, school feels different. We show up, we work harder, we believe in ourselves. Numbers and data shows our progress, but it's the connection that creates it. At Lakeside Middle School, connection helps us discover who we are and who we can become.
So this excellent video created by the Cooks, thank you Cooks, truly showcases an element of our experience here at Lakeside Middle School. And that is, hold on, not Riverview. Let me go back. It really kind of showcases the things that matter at a school, and that is the relationships that kids have with the adults. And this has been said over and over again, probably has been said in this forum more than a few times, but kids don't remember necessarily what they've been taught in school. They remember how folks made them feel. And it's the programs that we have and the excellent teachers and the excellent adults that we have, teachers that really create these experiences for our kids. And that alone is enough to spotlight, but I'm not quite done yet. So what do we need? What are some areas for improvement? So we had, during our Kindness Week, I brought out a drone and I took some footage of our kids. They lined up on this Lakeside Middle School, or LMS, chalked out by our facilities sign. And when I kind of was looking at this afterwards, I'm like, man, it looks like the globe, except that the green is like the ocean and the brown is what the continents would be. And there is some work to be done with facilities, whether that's through grants or what have you, but that is something that we are working on the side. Christine Rosado is doing a fantastic job with our facilities over at Lakeside Middle School and across the district. But this is just to show, I am completely aware of some of the things that we need to kind of write grants for and get improvement on, and that picture kind of indicates one of them. The PBIS and discipline. So Lakeside Middle School last year, around this time, introduced PBIS. A team of teachers got together, they created a matrix, and we kind of started the year kind of using that matrix, but really now we are diving headlong into this PBIS work. And it isn't the kind of thing where you spend a month doing it and suddenly all the discipline problems go away. It is a culture building, time taking system and framework by which everything is different. And so it really we're creating that positive momentum. We have teachers that are meeting bi-monthly, twice a month, and they are really putting in the work to try and create something that's sustainable for our kids, so that kids are not getting disciplined per se, but we are giving them positive reasons to act well, to follow our Bronco system, our Bronco framework. We are building a culture. We are academically aligning ourselves, and we are working on attendance. So these are some of the areas that we are working to grow in, not only this year, but in years to come. So where are we headed? So this was a picture taken of a student at 6th grade camp. I thought it was kind of fun, but deeper culture building. So continuing that PBIS work. I recognize that when it comes to discipline isn't something that's, it's here this year, it's gone next year. It's like, it is a thing. We're working with young kids. Kids make silly decisions. And so the continued work, I don't think it'll go away. It'll be something that we're constantly doing, but we will go deeper and deeper. Next year, we're going to create a culture and climate committee. So I talked a little bit about this year being an inquiry to action. So I'm doing a lot of watching and learning. And one of the things that I've learned is this is an area that we absolutely will need in order to kind of create a greater positive experience for our kids. Continuing to lean into attendance campaigns, encouraging kids to come and creating incentives to encourage them. Workforce programming. So this is a board initiative that we are wholeheartedly following behind. And so electives that boast workforce connections, tighter partnerships with the working community, so through the Chamber of Commerce, through some of the different, whether it's the engineers or any kind of groups that we have in Lakeside, bringing those folks and their expertise on campus to connect with what we're doing in the classroom. And alignment. So alignment through our instructional practices, alignment through pacing guides, unit maps, PLCs, and then alignment with big picture stuff. So CTE pathways that connect with our high school district right here around the corner. And so, again, it gives purpose to the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we learning this? Well, we want to give kids more of a reason why. We want to show parents, this is why you want your kids to come to our school, because if they come to our school and they do the CTE pathway, well, guess what? They're going to go straight to El Capo. They're going to go straight to Santana, and in a couple of years, they're going to be ready to join the workforce with some type of certification. So really, we're just trying to continue and grow that partnership and create more meaningful work that our kids are doing in the classroom. So with that being said, are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Dodson? No? You're just doing great things. I know, I love hearing, I get to hear about them every month. So I don't have a lot of questions because I asked all my questions at PTA meetings. So, but, you know, great programs and everything. So,
Yes, thank you for all your hard work. Appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to move into trustee reports. And we'll start with Jim Bennett.
Good evening. Nothing to do, thank you.
All right, what is?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I do have a couple things to report. I went to a couple fun events. One at LMS, the dessert concert that they had this year. Very good. It was a SpongeBob theme. Very fun. Yes, thank you. The wonderful Kim Messina, thank you so much for that. And thanks for the cheesecake, it was very good too. Yeah. So I enjoyed that very much. And then we had a policy committee meeting, less enjoyable than the SpongeBob concert. And then I was privileged to read last week on Love of Reading Week to a couple classrooms, one at Lindo Park and the other at the Dream Academy. So, and then they were on their way to I think, is it Silver Creek or Silverwood. They were on their way to Silverwood afterwards, so they had a field trip in reading. So what a fun day for the kids at Dream last week. So that's my report for the evening, and thanks for the members of the public for being here.
Thank you. Ron Casper.
All right, mine's pretty short as well. I participated in and volunteered at TDS STEP last weekend, so I saw Dr. Hardiman there, and what a fun time. Our 4th and 5th grade students come out, and the current ASB students lead them through classes, so I got to oversee the very difficult lip gloss making course that was going on, but they were having such a fun time, and it's really cool to see the ASB students step into that leadership role. They were running a lot of things, of course, with the help of the staff as well, but really cool to see. I also made it out to Festival of Arts performances yesterday. It was a warm day, but our students showed up and parents showed up and did all of their things. So there was band and dance, and of course our Chinese dragon was out there as well. So a lot of fun times, and then the art show, of course, didn't disappoint. It's always an incredible feat how they fill that entire room. And the last thing is just a community event. If you are into crafts, there is a craft fair, Apple Crate Craft Fair, I think. It's going on. It was started today, and it's tomorrow and Saturday as well over at Lindo Lake Park. That's it.
Thank you. I also attended the dessert concert and Festival of the Arts, our fun policy meetings, which you'll see a lot of policies on the board agenda today, so I hope you enjoyed reading them, because we did a lot of work on those. But besides those, we had our workforce development committee meeting, which was very good work happening there. I got to attend the Chinese New Year celebration at Winter Gardens, which was very cute. It was unique. It was the first time they'd done it, but they had the high schoolers and a couple other groups come in and do activities with the younger kids, which was it was well attended for a first year, which was very nice. And then we had our big wellness event, and we did the farm stand at Riverview. We had all the kids come all day. It was exhausting, but so much fun. And the kids really enjoyed getting the opportunity to pick out fruits and vegetables and try something new. I got a couple texts from some parents that were like, my kid was so excited, and they're making vegetable soup for me tonight. So I look forward to moving that to a new school next year and having a whole new set of kids, check out the farm stand. So that's it for me as well. It's just been a busy month. I can't believe we're like in the last couple months of school already. I don't know where the time has gone. So, opportunity for members of the public. Do we have any public comment tonight? No public comment tonight? Okay. So now I'm going to move into the fun stuff of that. I am very excited. They're all milling in the back, but hey, it's your turn. We have TDS here. I'm going to wait for them to pop in. But we are really excited. I'll wait for them to come all the way in. I gotta say, it is really exciting to see all that you guys have accomplished.
Thank you.
This program is amazing. I have watched you guys at like STEM nights and stuff, and triaging as things happen, and trying to figure out how to make it all work, and why one little piece is totally throwing something off. And you guys work so great as a team. And that obviously shows now, because look at this, they're heading to the World Championship. And to do this as a middle school, like, I have no words. So I don't know if anybody else has anything that they want to say. I do have a nice little plaque for you guys. But is there anything you guys?
I just want to say congratulations. I know you guys are so smart, have worked so hard, and I know about half the team since they were in kindergarten. So I know and love these students very personally. Great job, you guys. So we could not be prouder.
Thank you.
As a former Sun Devil myself, I'm proud of you. Great job making Lakeside look proud and taking us to the world stage. So thank you so much. Great work.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's just incredible. You know, I wish you all the best on your trip. And I'm not sure what that is, but maybe you'll explain what that is. I'm not real mechanical, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure you will explain. It does look cool too. But yeah, I'm really, really proud. Like Andrew said, that you're representing Lakeside. It gets exposure to this great city. So thank you for representing us, and good luck.
So this is our robot. So we have a manipulator, we have a front intake, we have an arm, we have the chassis, which is big, which is like the wheels. We have a parking, which pushes down off the block. We have the outtake, these spin, and this spins.
So our manipulator, there's like these loaders on the field with blocks in them, and we've got to get the blocks out of the loader and into some tubes. So the manipulator drives up to when the robot drives up to the loaders, the manipulator goes into the loaders, creates a small ramp that the blocks use to get out, and it goes into our intake.
These are rubber band rollers, which they,
These things.
yeah, rubber band rollers. We use rubber bands so they can grip the octoblocks better, and they take them up the chassis to different, up to here, which use these to guide to go into the middle or the top holes.
We have our parking mechanism right here, which is designed. This parking mechanism is the reason we got the Create Award, which qualified us for the World Championships. But basically, it was we have at the beginning of each round we have a preload that we are allowed to put into our robot, and we hold it right here with rubber bands so it doesn't scrape on the floor while it's driving. And then we have this, which it's 30 points if two robots park into a parking zone, and we can slide in. And then, as the rules say, as long as you're touching the walls of the parking zone, but you're not touching outside, you are considered parked. So we can just slide in a little bit, and then we push down on that octoblock to lift our robot up, so that we can slide in easily to the parking zone, and so can our Lioness.
And then here we have our arm, which we use to de-score blocks in the tube. It goes up, and then we use this shield to go on the side of the tube so that it aligns us perfectly. And then we have the arm go down into the tube, and then we can drive out all the opponent's blocks and de-score.
The only problem is, so there were 93 teams. It has taken us 9 years of the robotics program to make it to Worlds. And there were 93 teams at states competition, and out of the 93, only 16 made it to Worlds, and we are one of the 16. So we are looking forward to being able to talk with teams around the world, because we have Chinese speakers, Spanish speakers, we have an Arabic speaker, but he's not here right now, and then we're all English speakers. And we're gonna be problem solving in real time, and we're challenging ourselves to build this robot to do really good at Worlds against the best teams all over the world.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing it out here and showing us too. And I gotta say, kudos to you, Mr. Nguyen.
Yeah.
You've guided them into this amazingness that they have been able to, work with. So it really comes to you as well of giving them the tools that they've needed to succeed this way. So with that, I have a nice plaque for you guys from us as a board. It says to Tierra del Sol Vex Robotics Club 2026, team led by Johnny Nguyen, for their outstanding achievement and teamwork. So what I would like to do is if we could come out and give this and get some pictures.
Can the public ask a question?
Ask the chairwoman.
Can the public ask a
Public ask a
question?
question.
I will let it.
Yes. Is there a specific driver, or do you all get to drive the robot?
We're going to actually face this way, so walk into the middle area.
Let's not knock over the prize gym.
Johnny?
Photographers can scoop that.
I mean, how ancient's your phone, though? Should I do it with my phone?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Couple more. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, wait a minute, guys. I think I'm gonna have to stand on this chair. I need to get over here, and I can't see some people in the back. Shiloh, I can't see you. I gotta be up. This chair gonna hold me. It's been a long
We
time.
need a waiver for you.
Squeeze a little bit. It's the age.
I know, the boys are taller than some of the board members.
Can't run the chair.
Not the superintendent.
Oh, nobody's taller than the superintendent.
I do everything manually, so bear with me. One of those people that do everything old school, do anything new school. You get, since it's a big group, guys,
All right.
and you're just like, oh my God, this old lady. She torments us. One more. Judy wants to do covers this way. All right, guys, one more
represent us well.
They'll be in Missouri in April.
We're voting yes on that, that is I am.
I can't wait to get an update.
Yes, we're excited. We know you'll do us proud. Is St. Louis where the arch is?
No, just
Okay. You're gonna see it? Okay, send us a photo. We want to see you all a photo under there. Good. We want to see it. Poor Mark. Mark has to, debt management isn't that interesting. Sorry, Mark.
So we are moving on to presentations, and we have Mark Farrell here from James Scott & Company, who is going to let us know some information on some debt management strategies. Welcome, and thank you for putting up with us.
Thank you. Good evening. Pleasure to be here. Board members, and no, not as cool as robots, but we are talking about saving taxpayers a few $1 million, so that's always a good thing. So if we move forward 2 slides. Just kind of reviewing the district's assessed value. Obviously, this is the property tax base that pays back the general obligation bond. We have very strong growth over the past 20 years, 4.28% growth. Obviously, like most districts in the state, you know, in the Great Recession, tax base came down a little bit, but again, very strong growth since, so 4.3%, let's round it up. And then the community has passed 2 of the past 3 bond measures in 2008 and 2014. March of 20 was very much an anomaly election with COVID starting, Prop 13 school bond, statewide school bond being on the ballot. Most districts that we work with that failed in March of 20 have since been able to pass a bond either right away in November of 20 or in 22 or 24. On the next slide, these are all of the outstanding bonds that the district has. So on the far left, we've got just the name of the bond series, then when they were issued, the original principal amount, how much is outstanding today, the final maturity, so when that particular series of bonds is paid off. And then on the far right, the column that's relevant for tonight is this first optional prepayment date. This is the date that the district has the option to refinance the bonds. So up until that point, kind of the investors are guaranteed that they can hold on to those bonds and earn that interest rate on those dates. Then the district can say, you know what, it's time for us to refinance the bonds and lower the cost to our taxpayers. 2 of the 3 that we're looking at, the 2015 refunding bond series A and the 2016 refunding bonds. So those were originally the 2015 that refunded the 2008 Series B bonds, or a portion of the 2008 Series B bonds, saved taxpayers over $9 million at that time. And then the 2016 bonds refunded the Series A from 2008. There's about just under $2 million of savings for taxpayers. So we're now getting potentially a second bite at the apple, if you will, to refinance those bonds yet again and save more money for taxpayers. These are a projection of the current interest rate, or the tax rates for the bonds based on the 2008 and 2014 elections. The 26, that's the actual rate, and then the rest are projections. We're being conservative. We're assuming only 3.5% AB growth, what we just talked about. Your 20-year average is 4.3. So likely we'd see those tax rates be a little bit lower, a little bit kind of flatter than what we're projecting on this page, but trying to be conservative with those future growth rates. All right, on page 8, one more. And so there's kind of 2 different ways we could put together the refunding or the refinancing. We use the terms interchangeably. So the first, if we kind of look at the chart on the left to start, kind of the blue piece is the savings. So we could take a little bit of savings every year over the life of the bonds. And then on the right, we can see kind of the results. So we'd probably break them out into two series because we've got bonds from two different bond elections. So the first column is for the 2015 and 2016 refundings, so those are the old 2008 bonds. About $19 million of bonds outstanding. We'd be lowering interest rates from 3.6 to 2.1, it's called 2.2%. We've got our potential issuance costs, $150,000, $83,000 is what would be paid to the underwriter, the investment bank that actually sells the bonds to investors. Taking into consideration those costs, we're just about 1.1 million of savings. Similarly then with the Series B, refunding about 12.5 million of bonds from the 2014 election, lowering the interest rate from 4.3 to 3.6. We've got our issuance costs, about 1.6, almost 1.7 million in savings. So in total, between those two refinancings, about $2.7 million in savings. Alternatively, we could not take savings every year, but just shorten the term of the bonds. So all the savings would end up being in the back. So you can see kind of those blue bars there in the back. We'd be able to shorten the term of the bonds by 3 years. And so in doing that, because we're paying the bonds off more quickly, there'll be more savings. So the taxpayers wouldn't see it until later, but overall there would be more savings. And so really everything stays the same, and to get down to the net savings down at the bottom, about 1.1 million for the old 2008 bonds, and 3.4 million for refunding the 2014 election Series B bonds. So $4.5, $4.6 million in savings. So you can see quite a bit of savings difference by accelerating the payments, paying off the bonds a little bit more quickly. So it's a little bit of that trade-off. We want a little bit of savings every year or bigger savings by paying off the bonds faster. And then very kind of high-level timeline. So we're here tonight talking about this as an information item. If the board would like, we can bring it back for action at your April board meeting. Lock in the interest rates in kind of mid-May, and then the financing would be wrapped up by the end of May, early June. Happy to answer any questions.
Have questions?
Yeah, I have a couple. First question is, why the huge drop in tax rates in 2041? And it looks like it's on every graph.
Yeah, so look at the. Part of that had to do with the refunding of the 2008 Series B bonds. So a portion of those bonds, or a big part of those bonds, were non-callable capital appreciation bonds. So back in 2015, we put together a program where we could actually go out to investors and buy those bonds back. We couldn't force investors to give us back the bonds, so it was kind of subject to which investors were willing to do that, and they happened to be kind of in that window where those tax rates really dropped. So that was that $9.3 million of savings, kind of all happened in that window.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I don't.
Very straightforward. Savings, we have this year.
Right. Okay. No other questions? All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very helpful.
Alright, so I am going to move on to Christine Rosado is going to give us an update on maintenance, transportation, and operations.
It's exciting, it's my second year. Okay, so we're here to give the yearly maintenance and operations transportation overview. This being my second year, I feel very much more comfortable with everything going on, and we've had a lot of shifts in our team and a lot of change in our department, and it's been a little crazy, but we're getting through it, and my teams are great, so I appreciate them. Our goal is ensuring, safe, functional, clean schools for kids.
preventative maintenance and cost-effective solutions. So I'm really trying to concentrate on getting major things done with a minor cost. We have some completed projects that we've gone through. I'll have some pictures a little bit further on in the presentation here. Lakeside Farms, Lakeview, Tierra del Sol was recently finished. We had some paving at Lakeside Farms in Lakeview. Also roofing, and one of my biggest achievements was getting those chargers plugged in and working. It's been a big challenge. And also just some turf projects around that have really beautified the schools. One of my biggest goals too is to touch every school, make sure everybody has something, a little bit of front of the school beautifications and making our schools look beautiful, also with the interior, but just trying to get our presentation to the public like way more optimal, including landscaping and turf projects and a new sign, which you'll see in a little bit. Upcoming projects, we have a ton going on. Riverview and Lemoncrest are both getting their new ESS buildings through the ELAP program. Lemoncrest cafeteria through child nutrition is being expanded. We're kind of cutting into the library a little bit, but we're also giving that library a little modernization, so both people win. Painting of LMS and roofing, ESS firehouse and LMS will happen over the summer, where my team will be doing a complete paint job on the entire school. I'm looking to do schools on rotation, so that those schools now all are going to be touched within a 5-year period. So that way, not one school is looking shabby. We're going to go through them all and do that deferred maintenance program. Also, long-range facility plans, we're working through that currently and getting that done so that we have a really good outlook on that. Some pictures of some things that we've been doing on ongoing projects is siding on portables is a real big one for me. There's a lot of shabby things and a lot of poke your finger through the wall. So really working on getting that done in-house. Also some concrete work, making sure that we're getting some of those older concrete areas fixed up. Also wood chips, brand new to all the playgrounds so that those kids are safe and that we're up to compliance with playground safety and inspections. Also just the Lemoncrest sign, you can see that used to be an older sign. I did not remove it. We painted it and had a company come in, print out the sign, and it made a huge difference at Lemoncrest. It looks really nice. This is pictures of the new TDS ESS building, and installing and the hauling in of the cranes. And also you can see the furniture is quite different than some of them. There were at junior high, middle school levels, so the furniture is more compliant with what that school site needs as older kids. It turned out beautifully, but we had a few flaws throughout it, but we worked through those. Also, we have a new portable with turf at Lindo Park. It's made quite a big difference, and one of the happiest things that I see when I pull up is little kids rolling around on turf. I mean, I'm like, that turf, that little piece of turf, and they're all on it. So little things like that making a big difference. And this is at the front of the school, where public can see and parents can see. Maintenance updates. I'm really big on safety and topics, so we really dive into that quite a bit. I did perform fit inspections, and those are uploaded for our reporting. Deferred maintenance, which I had mentioned, completion of work orders, and creating that long-range facility plan is a big one right now. You can see workers and specialists, but from August to February, we've completed 1,785 work orders. Some of those are minor, like changing a light bulb, but a lot of them end up being a can of worms because of the old pipes and things like that. So they're bigger and smaller, but we're really on a way bigger pace than we were last year on completing work orders. So this is my maintenance and operations team. We're doing a lot of professional development to create in-house repairs, allowing us to save money and not paying somebody certified payroll and such when doing repairs. So that being said, like Roger, our plumber, has gone through and become backflow certified and fire riser certified, which saves us about $12,000 a year that he can do this. He's also registered with the water districts to do the appropriate reporting. I also have another gentleman, Richard, who has gone and done roof training. He's learned how to seal the TPO plastic and PVC roofing and went attended training for that. That saves us probably at least $8,000 a year in leaks. And then weeding out older work orders in the system, which we've done a pretty good job of so far, but there's still a few that we're getting at. Custodial updates, we have created a new map system for summer. We're going to be conquering and dividing as one big team So everybody goes to one school and we do all of the summer cleaning, and then we go to the next school and do all of the summer cleaning. It works much faster and more efficiently. We've done fire extinguisher location maps so that we're not missing any of those. The material data and safety sheets have all been updated. Safety training meetings are once a month, and they get training from various things such as golf cart training to chemicals and how to use them. We've also updated all of our subnotes so that they're very more detailed. We found that some of the subs were lacking, and we wanted to try to make it a more complete instructional guide for them, so we have redone all of those at all the sites. And transportation. Chargers are up and running. We have the transformers in. We're also doing a lot of training meetings also with transportation, safety-wise, and we've done some active shooter around a bus and had them know what to do to evacuate and such. So we're working with JPA and some law enforcement and doing those things. And what if there's a chemical spill and things like that while you're out driving? So we're trying to get that more complete for them to have some training. Electrical bus updates. We currently have 15 big buses, 6 of which are electric. We cannot turn in any of our gas buses until all of our electric buses are in. So we will be decommissioning 8 of the big diesel buses, 6 short gas buses as the program bylaws. We are awaiting 7 of the electrical shorter length buses, which I have negotiated with In Charge to send us the chargers ahead of time so that I can get them installed before the buses arrive. That hopefully will be when those buses come in, they can back into a charging spot and not have to wait so long. So what we'll end up with is 7 big electric buses, 11 sped electric short buses, and 3 white fleet vans. So that will be our fleet. And we are keeping 1 diesel, which is the best of the best, so that if the power goes out, we still have a bus. Lemon Crest, we had that big flood this year. And it was, well, it was actually last year, sorry. But from June to August, in 2.5 months, we got the repairs done and the classrooms ready. It was quite the feat to overtake, but we got that done and we're taking care of it. Just a few pictures of some beautifications. The bottom right one's my favorite, obviously, because this is at Winter Gardens where there was just a dirt patch, and now there's tons of children playing, which melts my heart. Doing little things like wood chips at Terra del Sol in the front to make it vibrant and nice. The sign at Lemon Crest, ramp work at Lakeside Farms. These are just kind of a few of the things that, just those small little touches that are making the schools shine a lot brighter. And this is my cruise. Having a little bit of fun while getting it all done. So, we enjoy each other and we've become a really good team down there. So we're really enjoying each other. And anybody have any questions? Questions for Christine?
Thank you for your hard work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's never ending.
It is not. I think I printed 75 work orders since Tuesday. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to Lisa Davis with our 2025-26 second intro financial report. Woohoo! Numbers! Everybody's so excited. Man, I want to go there. Yeah. Thursday. That's where we're at. We want to go there. I want to go there. It looks quiet. Yeah. Oh.
It's high.
Thank you. Okay. We're very glad you're here too.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much has changed since our first interim, which was just in December, so not a whole lot, nothing with the financials. I just always include this chart that shows you know, how the LCFF, the funding levels of each of the grade levels and stuff. Jump ahead, none of the assumptions for second interim changed from first interim. So cost of living is still the same, 2.3, about a 2% increase to property taxes and our lottery. Our one-time funding still, nothing changed there. Stuff in columns, STRS, PERS, all that's about the same. I think there was only a few little adjustments because when I did first interim, I hadn't certified CBEDs yet, so now it's 45.25. And then our projected ADA. And we did move down. We were being a little optimistic at first interim, and we were projecting about a 97%-ish ADA count, so now we've dropped that down to 96%. I think that might be a little bit more realistic by the time we get D2, that the district's overall average will be right there. So, and like Mike or Mr. Dawson was saying, LMS is working on attendance, so isn't everybody else, and I think we've done a really good, steady increase coming out of COVID, because it was, almost all districts were around like 91%. So everybody's slowly making that trajectory back up to the 97 is what we all kind of aspire to be sitting at. Staff, certificated FTE, classified management. And so then here's our second interim. Again, not a whole lot's changed. We just made some adjustments based off of, at this time of year, what we're doing is going in and looking at any of our POs or our encumbrances and seeing what has already been spent from that. And if something came in a little bit lower or whatever, we're just adjusting those encumbrances to reduce the budget. And just trying to help the overall outlook to be as realistic as possible by the time we get to year end. So at this point in time, we're looking at a 3.48% reserve, which our mandatory reserve for our district size is 3%. So a little above. Again, that's budgeted expenditures. So that reserve percentage will change based on what we actually spend at year end. But right now, it's all based on what we budgeted. This is just a pie chart of our revenues so that you can see the percentages of how much federal dollars we get, our local dollars, our state dollars. You can see the local control funding formula. And then I always like to talk about this. So the state aid is the LCFF. Our property taxes are not quite 15 million. Our district, I would say, is a little unique in that our community, our property tax base isn't real high. And we're not like other communities that even surround us, that families who live in Lakeside are still under the old Prop 13. They don't move. There's a lot of housing developments, but they're aged and families don't move. Or if they do, families come in and then they commingle with each other and stuff, but they keep those homes in their families, so then it's still Prop 13. So on one hand, it's really great for our community, but then on the other hand, it's not so great for the school district because our property tax base is so low. So that's just a little nugget of information. Expenditures, again, salaries and benefits are the bulk of our what our school district spends its dollars on. About 85% of the total budget goes towards salaries and benefits. And benefits are our statutory fringes and our health benefits. So our multi-year, I always have to report out current year and then 2 years out. So projections, I'm showing where our unaudited actuals are now our actuals for 2024. We're at what our adopted budget was. Now we're in that second interim and then 2 years out for projected. So you can see at the very bottom what the reserve percentage is projected to be in those 2 out years. So we're still doing well. We stay in a certified status with the county and the state. And we're not on the brink of insolvency, thank God. I would lose my job.
Don't ever even put that out.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
No. And then just other district funds to share with the board. We have a Fund 8, that's our ASB fund. Child development, preschool, so that's both child development and our ESS program. Both of those are in that fund. So I kind of split them out to show which is preschool and which is ESS. And then our child nutrition fund, we have a little tiny, I think Samantha and I were talking about the $298 left in the transportation equipment, so we'll probably expense that out by the end of this year so we don't have to keep carrying it. Our special reserve, Fund 17, that also feeds into our Fund 1, if there's any funds in there. Again, we are still in talks with the 400,000. We're just holding on to that right now because of an issue with the closed charter school. So we closed the treasury fund, moved those funds into this, and we're waiting until we can resolve the issues that we have with the charter. Capital facilities, that's our developer fee fund. We are actually seeing some developer fees come in from the development over off of Elmo Hall. I think we've received close to 300,000 so far. Because remember the law changed, and we used to be able to, the developer would have to upfront and pay us what was projected once all the homes were sold. They would pay us that bulk of the money upfront. Now it's not until the homes are sold that the developer comes in and pays school districts. So a little bit of lag, and that's to be used for any expansion or growth in a school district. Our special reserve for capital outlay, that's when Christine was talking about the deferred maintenance. This is where we're utilizing these funds to do any facility repairs and stuff throughout the district. And then we have the 2 charter schools, Verona and River Valley. I just wanted to show what those fund balances are. The expenditures. And that's it. Very quick. Not a whole lot of information.
Questions, friends? No. No? Thank you so much for putting it together, taking the time to tell us all about it. All right, so I will be looking for adoption of the second interim financial report. Is there a motion? So moved. Thank you, Autumn. Second. Thank you, Ron. Any discussion on this item? No? All right, all those in favor? Aye. And opposed? Thank you. Passes. We'll move on to designating items to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to designate items? Thank you, Andrew. Second? Second. Thank you, Autumn. All those in favor? Aye. And opposed? Thank you. That passes. What, if there are any items that we need to pull? I don't have any either. So with that, I will be looking for a motion to adopt all the items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Thank you, Autumn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Andrew. enrollment report was in your packet. Were there any questions or comments on the enrollment report? No? All right. Second item is our board donation for the Lakeside Rodeo. Every year we have made a $100 donation for a rodeo plank. This is a personal donation from us. So I'm just looking to see, is that something that we want to do? It is $100, so it would come out to $20 per person. So if that's something we want to do, just kind of looking for direction. I'll be collecting all the payments, and Rachel will be sending everything over to the Stadium Association. So do we want to continue to do this?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Great. $20 to do at some point in the next couple weeks, please.
Okay.
We'll move forward with that. Board calendar is number 3. We had sent out an email previously. This is regarding the June 18th meeting. That meeting, I am out of town as well as Autumn is out of town. We had sent a query out to make sure that the 3 of you were going to be in attendance. Andrew responded that yes, he would be there. I'm kind of looking to see from Ron and Jim, are you guys available for that meeting? Because it would be the 3 of you we would need 3 to have quorum, or did you want to move the meeting to another day?
Well, since I'm available, I'll leave it to these 2 gentlemen to decide.
Yeah, I'm available.
You're available that day? Okay. Okay. And then with that, we will keep it as is, and we will leave it to you 3 to run that meeting. That means, Jim, get ready, because you're up in that spot. You are. You're up in this spot. You get the nice look out. I want pictures. The second part of the board calendar is discussing summer closed sessions. We normally have it before the summer meetings start at 4:30, so I just wanted to make sure that we are good to have closed session before at 3:30, or do you want to move closed session to after the meeting?
Yeah, that's gotta be after for me.
I think that says that after.
After?
Since those meetings can sometimes be 10 minutes.
They can.
So I'm good with that.
Okay, so we will move, so you're good with that as well, Ron?
Yeah.
After, yeah, I kind of figured. So then we will go ahead and move the closed sessions to after the summer meetings when it starts at 4:30. Legislative updates. I know everything's back in session,
It is,
so.
there's a lot, we will, so what I think we need to do, I had a thought. If the board's kind of okay with it, my thought is that we should review or at some point bring forward some form of direction that puts it into our board bylaws that the policy committee can review positions on bills. Because it really requires a lot of research and preparation to go through it all. There's a lot of them that impact education. And so my thought would be is that there can be essentially similar to the way we work on policy committee right now, where we go through them, if there's any items, say, hey, we want to support or oppose this, and make that recommendation on the next agenda.
Okay.
That way, we're working backwards, looking at the committee stuff, looking at everything moves, because sometimes there are bills that we should opine on and we should speak to, but because the legislature is like a stop and go. I mean, they stop, then they really go fast, and then they stop, and then they really go. So my thought is, if we throw it in a policy committee, that would be effective, because then we're bringing stuff forward that's relevant, and the board can then opine that way.
And then has data ahead of time to make an informed decision.
Correct. And then we just make a recommendation saying the district should oppose or support this package of legislation.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It gives a lot more information ahead of time instead of us making decisions on the fly.
Because, and there's preparation we can have in advance, right? AXA has a list of bills that they track. CSBA has a list of bills that they track.
Right.
There's a couple other organizations that I would recommend taking a look at so that education related that we want to take a position on, or not, for whatever reason.
I am good with moving forward with something like that. Does anybody else have?
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Then we will move forward with that type of mechanism moving forward. Any?
The only other thing
Anybody
is,
else have
just as a
anything?
public awareness, I do think that we as a board need to revisit the AR 5145.3, given the recent Supreme Court decision. I think we already, when we, in the past, this board suspended enforcement of some of those things, which was a good decision then, and is still a good decision based on everything that has been happening. My perspective now is that we strike the problematic language from it, which there is many and much of in it. And so I'm going to bring forward a proposal to do so. And so I think that we should be prepared to do that. And I think it helps us. I think it shows that we're not putting federal funding at risk, which I think is very much at risk if we continue to have a, well, we don't really have a policy because we suspended it, but I think we need to take further action to show it's not happening at all. So that would be my proposal that I'll bring forward soon.
Anyone else have updates in this section? No? All right, well, thank you all. I'm gonna move on to Carrie. Hi.
Hello, how are you all? All right, this is too small for me to read. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start out with congratulations because we want to always make sure we are shouting out to our members, and LTA is really proud. We have nearly every single one of our employees that is eligible to be a member is a member. And that's a really big deal in our world, and it just really shows that, you know, our employees feel that we're doing a good job representing them, working with our administration, our school board, and they're trusting us to be their voice in our community. So I'm really proud of that. But I also want to highlight our amazing certificated employees of the year, which I know you guys have honored, but I just want to name them out here on behalf of LTA. Sheila Baker, our school psychologist at Riverview, and Claudia Soto at Winter Gardens, Daniel Lopez at TDS, Sierra Garza at Lindo Park, Lauren Einhoff at Lemon Crest, Dana Robledo at LMS, Kendall Fletcher at Lakeside Farms, and Eddie Baca at Lakeview, Jessica Shawn at Leap, and Michelle Milkinis Brown at Dream. We're super proud of their work and that they're getting recognized for that hard work. It's always nice to get a pat on the back. So congratulations to them. And also to our biliteracy teachers of the year, Erica Garcia, who is a counselor who teaches definitely in her role, and Frances Mendoza, who is a teacher at Winter Gardens. And then we were so stoked to see the TDS Robotics Club get that, and we just can't wait to see them do well in their competition, and that's a really big trip to go to Missouri, so thanks for approving that, and we're really excited for them and their teacher. And then we have been busy the last couple months. The LTA received a grant from CTA in order to allow our executive board to be able to do site visits. So we did a listening tour with all of our members. We traded food and for their ideas and feedback, which is always a good way to get people talking. Feed them and they will talk to you. And so we asked them the basic question, what would make working in LUSD and at your school even better? And just open-ended, tell us what would make it better. And so we collected that feedback and we're taking it and sorting it into categories that make sense. Some of these things are contractual. Maybe we need to bargain some of these things. Some of these things are just maybe things that we need to work on in already existing committees within the district. They just need to be housed in this area and people need to tackle them. Some of them might be new issues that we need to look at and have some conversations about. So once we get through aggregating all of that information, because it's a lot of feedback, 285 members, and they each have more than one opinion and ideas. It's a lot of sticky notes that we're sorting through, but there's really thoughtful things that are coming out of our teachers. And so I will be bringing those concerns, issues to your attention as a school board, to the appropriate administrator's attention. And one example is I already got to talk to Christine about some of the facilities concerned, and it was so refreshing when I talked with her. She was like, yep, I'm aware of that, I'm aware of that, I'm aware of that, and here's the plan to address this. And it was great to see how ahead of everything she was. You know, there wasn't necessarily anything new that she wasn't aware of in those issues, and I loved the plans that she shared with you guys tonight on that. So that, and then in segueing into that, we've noticed the environment upgrades on our campuses, painting school doors, wood chips, turf, all sorts of things like that, and that stuff sends a nonverbal message, not just to our community and our students, but also to our teachers. It's where we show up every single day to work. It makes you feel like, oh, I'm valued as an employee. I have a space where I feel like it just feels nice to work in, right? It's a nonverbal form of communication. And so thank you for supporting those updates, and we look forward to seeing more in the future. So that is awesome. And then another update from LTA, we're busy. We had our calendar committee meeting, and we are still working on finalizing for the 2027-28 school year calendar. And we're going to meet again because we're trying to cross-check with the high schools, because that's one of the priorities. We surveyed all of our members on what are you interested in seeing in a school calendar, what's helpful, what's not helpful. And being lined up with our high school districts was something that was a priority, just because we know that we have families that have kids in both places, and it impacts our students. And so that showed in our survey, and so we're working on that. And we have to kind of wait for Grossmont to get their calendar to us. So if anybody has friends over there, tell them to hurry up. We want to work ahead. We like doing this multi-year calendar out. It's very, very helpful for us and our families, and I just think planning everything our district is going better since we started doing this. So that is my main report for you tonight, and as always, thank you so much for being willing to listen to all of us and meet with our teachers whenever they'd like to talk with you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, David Myers is not with us tonight, so I'm going to move on to Lisa Davis.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot. I just want to thank everyone for, I just drew a blank.
You just thank everyone. It's a blanket.
I think tagging on to what Laura was saying earlier about, I can't believe the school year's almost over with. It is flying by. So, yeah, and kudos to Christine Rosado and her team, and they have been doing just a great job. And then we just, I know what I was gonna say, in the business office, we're just having a lot of transitions. So Amy McReynolds is going to be Christine's new admin assistant over in M&O, and we just hired Stephanie Jansen, will be filming the purchasing, and then Kathy Evans' position of budget analyst will be, get that out shortly for, to get that job posting out, because she's retiring June 30th. Lots of changes in the business office, so just want to put that out there. Please be patient with the business office. There's a lot of transitions happening. So that's it. Thank you.
Robin Bowden.
Thank you for listening to everyone and doing all the great good work you do. I can't talk about anything I'm doing, but it's a joy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Natalie?
Some quick updates from Ed Services. Our second report card of the year will be going out to families next Friday, so teachers are working hard to get those report cards done this week, and principals will review them next week, and they'll go out on Friday. We have our last district-wide PLC of the year coming up Later this month, we'll be focused on our English learners and receiving some professional development from our EL coordinators at our sites around services and supports for English learner students. Testing season is upon us. We are currently administering the LPAC assessment around the district, and also starting on the Avant Stamp assessment for our immersion students. And then when we get back from spring break, we will go right into testing season. And then we were just talking about the June board meetings. Those are important because of the LCAP. So we will be doing 2 LCAP presentations in June, which is why we have to have 2 board meetings in June. Sorry, that's the way the law is written. So I've completed all of our input sessions for the LCAP, and over the next couple of months, probably primarily over spring break, I will be writing the new LCAP to bring it to you in June. Scott, here it goes.
Thank you to Principal Dotson and the Lakeside Middle School staff and students for a great presentation. I can't get enough of their singing and absolutely love the artwork. I don't know if you all got a chance to see it. They're doing great work over at Lakeside Middle School. Very busy month, so many things to present about, but I only chose one because otherwise, didn't want us getting out here at 11 p.m. PK. So PK is a program, Parent Institute for Quality Education, and it really speaks to what we're trying to do as a district, which is connect with our families and help them do their job of partnering with us to support their children's education. So talking to Dr. Fernandez, she and the community liaisons reach out to parents and invite them, and it's pretty rigorous. It's 8 sessions, it's nighttime. It goes through all sorts of things about parenting, partnering with the schools, things like that. She said that when we started the program, when she first brought it, we had 6 graduates, which is amazing. 6 parents that went through the program and everything. This year we had 33 graduates. And these are people, she's actually taking the graduate information, sharing it with principals, so principals can reach out to them. And these are people that we're gonna hopefully recruit and be classroom support, tutors in the classroom, PTA members, school site council members, all those things. So it's parents that really didn't know much about our system and giving them all that information. So very exciting. She invited me to the graduation and it was wonderful. We've got a little video of that we will share.
Wednesday, March 10th was a proud day in the Lakeside Union School District. 33 parents celebrated something special: graduation from the Parent Institute for Quality Education, also known as PK. PK began right here in San Diego back in 1987 with a simple goal: help parents understand the school system and give them the tools to support their children's learning. Over several weeks, these Lakeside parents met together, asked questions, shared ideas, and learned ways to stay connected with their child's education. How to communicate with teachers, how to keep track of grades and progress, how to help their children think about college and the future. Programs like PK have helped families across the country feel more confident walking into a classroom, attending meetings, and speaking up for their kids. None of this would have happened without a lot of hard work behind the scenes. Dr. Patricia Fernandez, the district's Director of Student Support Services, helped bring the program to Lakeside. Community liaisons Myrna Bernal and Marianne Ibarguen Saldana spent weeks reaching out to families and inviting them to take part. Their effort paid off. 33 graduates, 33 families stronger, and dozens of students who now have parents ready to walk beside them on their path through school. Because when families and schools work together, students thrive.
So like I mentioned, just really proud of our district for offering this program, our community liaisons for connecting with these people, and again, strengthening our school by strengthening our partnership with our parents. So very excited. We don't want to watch the LMS one again. Sorry. And that's it with my report.
All right.
thank you. Right, is there anything else? We have closed session on here, we finished everything, so we do not need to move back into closed session. So, anything else that we need to discuss before I adjourn the meeting? No?
Nope.
Great, I adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.